Think, plan, and act in everything that you do. Stay intrinsically motivated, because when you're intrinsically motivated, you work yourself towards your goal. Welcome to another amazing episode with us here at Osage Financial. If you're a student, we hope you find the information in this episode valuable to you. If you're a company looking for accountants, click the link below and we will be in touch with you as soon as possible. We are a business first podcast. Then we discuss accounting and we like to also discuss motivation. One thing that I've always been told by many new people that I meet is there's nothing new under the sun. The only thing that's new is the information being presented to the person receiving the information. We hope the information that we present to you is neither new under the sun. However, it's very important to whatever it is that you're doing. Now, I've been thinking lately, most people that succeed in anything that they do are, one, very ambitious, two, they're persistent. We had an episode discussing persistence earlier in the season. And three, they're intrinsically motivated. Intrinsically motivated simply means inward, inside of their spirits, they're motivated to continue to achieve the goal that they set themselves to. Sometimes there's situations where people are forced to be doing certain things, kids being forced in sports, or people being forced to take over the family business, different things. However, the people that rise to the top percentage of the work that they're doing are very, very intrinsically motivated. They're driven to see their vision become a reality. Last episode, we discussed that we must think, plan, and act. Those people consistently think, plan, and act to realize their goals. This is not new to anyone. If you're watching this podcast, you probably watch business podcasts, motivational podcast, how to make money podcast. So this is very repetitive information. Repetitive, but very important information. Think, plan, and act in everything that you do. Stay intrinsically motivated, because when you're intrinsically motivated, you work yourself towards your goal. I had a client meeting a few days ago, and we're discussing different things with the client. I told the client stories about my granddad. I told him, look, when I was a kid, we'd go to my granddad's ranch every summer and would help out through the ranch, anything that needed to be done. We're basically ranch hands. So we did pretty much everything that needed to be done, woke up early. And at the end of the summer, we're rewarded by a female cow. And he looked at me and said, why are you so specific on female cows? And it was like, look, they reproduce. And then whatever they reproduce is our interest. So it was always amazing to see who could accumulate the most female cows, because you know that next summer or whenever the breeding season happens, your stock is growing. Of course, it belonged to the family, but we had the ones that were given to us and we were responsible for them. And he said, look, that's amazing. But look, you also have to understand that you won't always be in a situation where you're receiving rewards for your hard work. You may be in a situation where you're facing challenges for your hard work. Let me tell you a story. And I sat back a little bit and listened to him. And he said, look, the story I'll tell you is, back in the day, in the wild, in the prairie, in the open grasslands of America, when the storm would be coming, some animals would run away from the storm. Humans would react however they reacted. Buffalo ran towards the storm. And I sat back and said, what does that mean? And he said, look, they ran towards the storm to spend the least amount of time in the storm, because they knew that the storm was coming from this way. They were right here. If they run towards the storm, they would eventually pass the storm a lot quicker. If you run away from the storm is chasing you, and you're right behind the storm the whole time for a little bit longer than you should be. You may outrun the storm. It may catch up to you. It may catch up to you and then pass you, but you spend a lot more time thinking about running away from the storm when you could just run through the storm and you've been past it a lot quicker. Mentally, you're not carrying the load of that storm in your mind that you have to escape it, because you know you're going to face it. You face it and you go through it and you pass it. I said, look, man, this is very interesting information. I'm sure you heard it from somewhere. There's nothing new under the sun, but this information was new to me. And now I'm passing it on to you guys watching our episode today. When you're facing a storm and you're an intrinsically motivated individual, a student motivated to reach their goal, graduate, get your degree, pass, succeed, a businessman, an entrepreneur, going through the daily grind, the daily hustle of realizing your goal, realizing your vision, changing the world, changing yourself, changing your world. Sometimes you get rewarded with a female cow that will reproduce and increase your wealth. Sometimes you face a storm. Do not run away from that storm. Run through that storm. You'll pass that storm a lot quicker. Think, plan, act. Stay intrinsically motivated. Realize your goal. We are in a world where you could think of something, realistically achieve even a percentage of what you imagined. Now imagine if you could think of something, plan on it, act on it, pursue it intrinsically, extrinsically. Force your mind to believe that you can achieve your goal. When you face the storm, go towards the storm, run through the storm, run past the storm. You spend less time in the storm anyways. And then when you get rewarded, and you get rewarded with a female cow that will reproduce itself, that is a dividend. That is compounding from your hard work that you've already done. Thank you for watching this amazing episode with us here at Osage Financial. If you're a student, we hope you find this information valuable to you. If you're a company looking for accountants, click the link below. We'll be in touch with you as soon as possible.